Hi, sweets. Get your yoga mat. I am. I'm gonna mute you, okay? Okay. Here we go. All right. So let's lay out on the mat in a shavasana position. For those of you who don't know, think of it like you're lying on your beach towel, face up. And hey, cuz, we're gonna turn this is a family affair today. This is very sweet. We're gonna turn our palms to face up and just take a few minutes to arrive, and I'm gonna join you. I'm gonna join you in that. So as you find a comfortable seat or posture laying down, comfortable position, that's the word I'm looking for, just start to tune into your breathing patterns. Where has the breath been in the busyness and effort it took to get to this particular moment? And immediately when we start to drop into the awareness of our own breathing, you might find that it starts to deepen on its own. Note if that happens, if that's the case, or if it isn't. It's just a little check-in. And then from this awareness point, we'll start to cultivate a more balanced breath. Breathing out through the nose is the beginning of our breath cycle. Lingering in the pause before you take that in-breath. And imagine at the top of breath, it's like the crest of a roller coaster as it starts its descent. There's this pause before this natural momentum or the reflex of the exhalation. Just staying with that awareness. Just following my voice, I'll guide you through a cadence of breath. So we'll all join together at that crest of breath. Let the breath follow for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. Inhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Top of inhale. And breath falls out. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. Inhale. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. Exhale. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. Inhale. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. Breath out. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Linger in the pause. Just take over, breathing in your own rhythm, your own pace. Just calibrating the inhalation and exhalation so that we find a new sense of balance there. Lick your lips and rub them together. And here I invite you to either dedicate the fruits of this practice to someone. Maybe it's yourself, maybe you need a little extra support. And on your next exhalation, just send that gift off, that intention. That every movement we make is an expression. It can become a prayer, an offering, and therefore we approach it with a sense of I don't know if hygiene is the right word, but there's a sensitivity. This is a gift. So from here, you're going to draw your knees into your chest and give yourself a hug. Exhale to peel your head and shoulders off the mat. Inhale, deep breath in. Exhale to slowly unfold onto the floor. See if you can land your head and feet at precisely the same moment. Completely surrender. Surrender. Allow the floor beneath you to hold you. Just turning on our ability to receive. We're going to slowly start to bend the knees, plant the feet on the floor, and roll to one side. When you roll, think about where you place your hands, and then place your hands. We're heading towards a down dog. So, scooping the knees, coming into a tabletop position, and you're curling the toes under, pressing your hips over your heels just to start to warm up the feet, and just oscillate your hips from side to side, just rolling through those feet. If you're wearing tight shoes for most of the day, and you're not in a warm climate right now, as we break into those summer shoes, some of us, the feet need to be reminded how to open up again. So feeling the floor, intentionally equalizing the balance across the palm, and gently draw the knuckles, just gently nest them into your mat, and then make little fingerprints into your mat with equal attention across the thumb all the way to the pinky finger pad. Exhale, let's hover the knees. And just notice where you start to feel sensation here. Isolate the places that need to be working and invite relaxation and softening of the places that don't. And then exhale, slowly start to lift the hips over the heels. And let's just intuitively move here. Let's pedal. I like to cut a 45-degree angle and get really long through the side body of the straight leg. Take a deep breath into that side. And just explore that from side to side. You can let your head dangle. And then as you pivot your hips, you can peek under the armpit of the side that you're pressing into. There's no right or wrong here. This is really you exploring sensation, exploring where your body patterns are feeling tight, where they need a little bit more love and attention. Every day we have a different body, so this is just time for us to check in with what's been going on. Deep breath in, exhale out through the nose, soft constriction in the back of the throat. Just shake out your head, yes and no. Now inhale, we're going to shift forward into a plank position. Lift your hips, maybe like 3 inches, and then exhale, invite them down as you scoop the buttock flesh towards your back heels. Let's try that again. Press into your thumbs and index finger. Inhale, rise. Exhale, tuck. Nice strong legs. Inhale, rise. Exhale, tuck. Send the heels back as you straighten. Inhale, rise. Pressing onto the balls of the feet. Exhale, tuck. We're going to come all the way down to the floor. You can come onto the knees if that feels much more supported. Pause here. Release any tension in your neck, your jaw. Inhale, peel the chest up, come into a baby cobra. And just start to rotate through the shoulders, keeping this very spontaneous. Exhale down. Resting your chin or mouth on the mat, pause, soften everything. Inhale, press into the tops of the feet, knees lift. Inhale, peel the chest and shoulders away from the floor. The spinal muscles are working here. Again, just scoop your pubic bone towards your jaw. Exhale down, soften everything. Inhale, peel, baby cobra. This time we're going to bring the big toes to touch. Exhale, lift the legs. Float the arms up. And just start to discover remember your beach towel. Start to glide your hands across the sand. And create a sense of thick movements in the body. So imagine we're moving through this highly viscous, watery substance. And that's going to change the movements. And then place your hands underneath your shoulders. Exhale, rest. Curling the toes under, inhale, pressing up onto all fours, shifting back into down dog. Bring our big toes to touch, shaking out the head and neck. Inhale, let's take that right leg up. And exhale, step it through, coming into a nice low lunge. We're going to warm up the ankle. Again, this is very much about your own intuition and your own time with yourself in your body, time with your body. Find out what it needs, find out what's happening, what's going on. So you're going to roll through that ankle. Inhale, long through the spine, exhale, slowly shift back. So as you shift back, you're going to start to feel sensation through the back of that front leg. You just want to go to the point where you start to feel a stretch in your hamstring. We're not going beyond that. Good. So now once we have a little bit of this back and forth action, let's start to incorporate our hands. Now remember the thickening that we were just playing with when we were lying down. As we draw the arms up, imagine that you're pressing through this thick, thick fluid as you shift yourself back, as you move in space. Pause right here, start to hug the heel back, invite the left hip forward. Don't get hung up on having things rigid or static. We're inviting the hips to neutral, but then we're playing there. We're starting to engage through the hamstring, so I'm really dragging that right heel back with a little micro bend in this knee. So I'm really isolating the belly of the muscle here. Also starting to activate through my left glute, so squeezing your left glute, start to hug the left knee in towards the midline as the right heel drags back. Soften something in your jaw and shoulders. Push into the floor, see if you can come up without hands. Draw the arms up. And then exhale, let's plant the hands at the top of the mat, stepping back into our plank. Let's do our little mini vinyasa. Inhale, perch on top of the balls of your feet. Tense your legs, creating this little mini triangle. Exhale, draw the buttock push back. Inhale to rise. Exhale, heels draw back with your two oxen. And then inhale, rise. Exhale, reach back, come all the way to the floor. Inhale into our cobra. Spontaneously. Exhale, raise the legs. Find our thickening quality, and then we're going to start to transition into more of a light, soft texture of movement. So it's just a dusting of the hands and legs. Very light, airy. Just reach back, see if you can touch your feet. Lift your legs a little higher. Then exhale, let's plant the hands back. Pushing onto all fours, slowly finding our way back. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's bring the big toes to touch. Heels slightly apart.
Now look at your feet for a minute. See if all 5 bones at the top of the feet are popping out. If they're not, try to spread the toes apart, gently lift the toes, and invite your inner heels to press down. Activate through the quads, lifting them away from the knee. Press into your inner palms. Breathe that left leg up, inhale. Then exhale, let's think about where we want to place the left foot and try to do it in one move. Try, and we can always inchworm it forward if we need to. And we're going to just feel for that ankle. So I'm rolling through all 4 corners of the feet. So across the ball of the foot, down to that back outer corner of the heel, and then inner corner of the heel. Just rolling through, spreading the toes, and waking up that foot. We're going to start to incorporate more hip movement here, shifting forward and back. Again, don't get hung up on what it's supposed to look like. It's going to feel the same to all of us. We're all looking for our edges. So exploring where that is today and shifting directions. The body's asking for it. Now we're going to start to incorporate hands. We're going to push into the legs, float the arms up, keeping the arms nice and thick again, just to keep it consistent on the side. Slide back. Breathing the arms up. Exhale back. Breathing the arms up. Exhale back. One more time. Now we're going to start to activate through that heel, dragging it back. This time the right knee is dragging forward. Micro bend in that front leg. Just really hug in this hamstring. We're just hydrating. Think of flossing your hamstring. This is not about punishing us into stretching. This is just really, it should feel full and activated. When we're done, it'll feel hydrated and uncongested, or at least more so. Keep an undulation in your movement. Don't feel like you need to be static unless you really need to be. And I just invite you to make this more improvisational. We heard this thing that we're composed mostly of water. Well, I think we can tap into that fluidity that we are composed of. So no stagnant water, keep the waters flowing. Hug, hug, hug. With 3, 2, and 1. We'll press forward onto that leg. Oh, if you're calling for anything, just give it to yourself. Any last little movement there. Let's plant the hands, stepping back, pausing. It's coming into our little mini vinyasa. Inhale, let's tent. Exhale, extend. Inhale, tent, really hug the belly. Hollow the belly, exhale, extend. Find strength through length. Last one, inhale. And exhale, reach. All the way down to the floor. Inhale, finding whatever cobra. Maybe you're ready for a little bit more of a deeper cobra. Explore that full range of motion. And then release the hands. Inhale to bring the big toes together. Exhale to raise the legs. And let's go back to our thick quality. So arms reach up like an upper cactus, and then dragging the elbows back. And maybe create some freedom in the legs. And we'll slowly rest back down. We're going to extend that right arm out to the side. Walk the fingers up a little bit and put a bend in the elbow. So it's like this. Inhale, turn to the side of the head. Exhale, we're going to start to roll onto our right shoulder. Start to glue your right armpit towards the floor. Be nice and long here. Draw that left shoulder down. Pull the left shoulder head away. Good. And then we just explore by raising this leg up Open the toes, close the toes. Open the toes, close the toes. Open, close. All right, last one, we're gonna open and we're gonna bend it. And you can see if you can place it behind you. And then as you press onto the floor for some leverage, start to drag that left buttock down towards your right heel. So it's coming into a gentle tuck. So that's what's happening in the legs. Just draw our attention back to that right armpit. See if you can glue the right armpit onto the floor. And now soften something. Something that doesn't need to be involved, something that can be passive and enjoyed. And then exhale, slowly unwind, rolling back onto the belly. Let's take a minute, let's put both hands by our sides. And just take note of how one side might feel differently than the other. Coming into the other side, we'll extend the left arm to the side, bend at the elbow. There we go. All right, we'll find our way back to our tabletop. Let's bring the right leg into the midline of the mat, and we're going to pivot to the side. So opening across the chest. I'm going to dial this bottom hand out a little bit wider just so you have space in this right shoulder. Draw the shoulder blades down the back. Inhale to reach that arm up and over as you press into the back foot. Find that edge, and then coming back. Inhale. Breathing into your side ribs. Exhale, floating it back down. Inhale. Full expression here. And lift that underside leg. You can extend it in front of you. You can cross it. You can bend it. I'm going to retrace your pattern. Hover, hover. Full expression. Push into that knee. Yeah, and then we're going to slowly come up and reverse that action. Coming up and over to the side. Keep grounding through the outer foot of this extended leg. And start to lengthen through your ring finger of the top hand, pivoting your palm to the back wall. Breathing into your side ribs. Keep the activation in your legs. You're going to bend the elbow and grab for the back of your head to support your neck. Start to guide your elbow up and over. Lengthen the flesh of the armpit. And release your front psoas. And gently invite the right hip forward, tucking the buttock flesh down, straight down. And then slowly unravel. Planting your hands on the top of the mat. In your down dog. I'll do a little switcheroo here. So we're going to place the left knee into the midline of the mat. Again, dial that left hand nice and wide. Breathe the arm up. Parallel the back foot with the short edge of your mat. Inhale all the way up to expand across the ribcage. Exhale down. Inhale. Exhale. And inhale all the way up. Find your full expression. Gravity help us. As we ground through that back leg, start to pull the shoulder of the supporting arm down towards your waist. Exhale, lift that underside knee. Inhale to draw the knee into your chest. Exhale to start to explore the edges of your range of motion here. So here, come into your crisscross. Ready and lift. Crisscross. Bend. Two legs become one. Just twizzling them around. Good. Extend. Full expression. Hover, hover, hover. Rounding through the outer edge of the back foot. Pressing into all points that touch the floor. Really ground into each of them. Create a nest. Find that ring finger. Invite it to guide that top arm up and over to create a little rainbow here. That's for you, Nuke. Bend your elbow, grab to the back of your head, and invite that elbow up and over. Press the head into the hand. Good. And then slowly rolling our way back to down dog. So shifting forward, find your plank. Exhale, come all the way down to the floor. Inhale to peel the chest up, find our final cobra. Exhale, lift the legs. We're gonna just keep exploring this range of motion. See if you feel ready or warm enough to maybe grab one leg. Now you can work with one leg at a time and press up. Soften. Inhale. Hug that bent knee in. Exhale. Kick the hand into the foot. The foot is rising towards the sky. To my forearm and palm of the front arm. Maybe you lift your navel off the mat and drag your pubic bone forward as you scoop the buttock flesh down towards your back heel. Exhale, soften. If you find yourself stopping the breath, just ask it to soften and let out a nice, controlled, intentional exhalation to begin again. And then we're going to free that leg. Switching sides, so left arm comes in front. Lifting the belly. See if you can grab for the other ankle. Top of the ankle, exhale, extend. Just playing with breath. Moving in and out of different depths of this position until you feel ready to fully express and work there for a few breaths. Ideally, if you have a yoga blanket, you want to lay this under your hips. Sometimes they can dig in. And if that's the case, just don't go as high. We don't want to bruise ourselves. Breathing here, full expression. And then exhale, release. Hands underneath your shoulder heads. Take a moment to pause. Pressing up onto all fours. Big toes touch, heels nice and wide apart. Shifting into child's pose, wide-legged child. Really surrender the weight of your upper body onto your thighs, hips, floor. Inhale, let your head lift. Let's walk hand over hand, inviting the belly flesh to roll over top of the right thigh. And then exhale, just coming into a little side bend here. Pressing into the left palm, and then gently anchoring the left hip back over the left heel. You should get some nice activation through your sideline. Grounding through your index finger and thumb with the left hand. Inhale, bring your gaze up. And then exhale, fingertipping the floor, we'll come to the other side. Again, I think of rolling my belly flesh up and over top, stem of the left thigh. Breathe to find length through the vertebrae. Exhale, surrender. First, surrender. Linger in that. Notice if it's hard or easy to actually let go of the effort in your body. Inhale to start to activate through the right palm. Really feel the floor in a way that is very sensitive, almost new. Maybe you've never done it before, never felt it before. So as you take in the information through the right palm, press it down, nest it in, And invite that right hip back over the right heel a little bit more, just to experience more activation through your whole right sideline. Breathe into that space, breathe into the congestion if there is any. Soften your jaw. Welcome any shakes. And inhale, lift the chin. Just very intentionally walk the hands back. Move on to all fours. Crisscross the legs. Lie back. Nice and slow. Inhale, take that right leg in. Interclasp. Give yourself a little squeeze. And exhale, extend it towards the sky. So interclasp your fingers behind the thigh. Start to press the thigh in towards the fingers. And meditate a million miles beyond your toes. See if you can find a wider footprint across the shoulders where you connect with the floor more fully. Open across the chest. Smile. A little soft grin really relaxes the muscles of the jaw. And then soften and just receive that. You can either go more passive in the leg, hook the big toe, the middle and index finger, or you can just stay working like this. Just find a place on the leg. Good. So we're passive, and we're going to go into one more activation. So switch the clasp of the fingers, start to activate across the quad again. Invite and drag that right hip down. Just let it get a little bit tired on you. Notice where your point of fatigue is on this side. We'll compare it to the other. Soften the face. And then exhale, we'll bend the knee into your chest. Opening it up to the side. A little external rotation moment. And then we're going to lift the pelvis up. Come into a little twist here. So left hand to the belly of the right thigh. And then you could open up your right hand like a stop sign, rested down on the floor. Looking up at the ceiling, turn your head to 10 o'clock. Grow long in your neck. And then exhale, turn your head towards your right palm. You can breathe deep, slow, and low. Without force. Mostly through the nose. Exhale, bring your gaze up to the ceiling. Keep your eye gaze very soft and ungripping. Let's rotate ourselves back to center. Give yourself a little counter twist here, if that feels good. And then we'll recenter the hips to switch sides. The left knee in. See how much you can, how close you can get it to your chest without your hands. Try to level your pelvis. Find your grip. Exhale, extend the leg up towards the ceiling. So I'm really pressing my femur into my hands and using that leverage to broaden my shoulders. Lumbar curve is natural, so there's a gentle lift there. The back of the neck is long. Front of the neck is also long, with a gentle, humble chin. And some very intentionally light pressure across the back of the skull. And then soften the leg, let it go passive. Just explore it, what range of motion you have. And just flossing the tissues here a little bit. It's not the Jane Fonda bounce. It's just a very intentional investigation. I like the word floss. It feels like flossing. And then we're going to go back in for our second set. So switch the clasp of the grip. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, start to activate the leg into the hands, hand into the leg, opening across the chest. Ask that left hip crease to descend towards your right heel. Welcome any quivering, any shakes. I've got a little bit of a tremble happening here. I'm going to modulate, maybe back off just a touch and see if I can go back in and explore it. You don't want to get stuck in those really aggressive, overachieving type approaches to our work here on the mat. Good. It's all productive. And then exhale, we'll bend the knee. Give ourselves a little hug, a little squeeze. And then just open it up to the side, coming into some external rotation in the hip. Keep descending the left hip down, pressing into the right foot. That creates a little more stability. And then slowly coming into our twist. So lifting the pelvis off to the left, just letting the legs fall over to the right. Find your stop sign. And this time we're going to look straight up towards the ceiling, turn our head to 2 o'clock, and then draw the chin towards the left shoulder. You can allow the eyes to close if that feels comfortable. Or just keep your gaze soft on a single point. And the yogis call it your drishti. And inhale, bring the gaze back up towards the sky. Exhale, coming back to center, crossing the left ankle over the right thigh, and then coming into a counter twist. Feel nice. Pressing the left knee into the floor, really dragging. Think of what's the easiest way to describe this. Just almost like dragging your knee towards the bottom of the mat. So get some leverage there. Just decompressing the hip. And then we'll come back to center. All right, so our final pose, you have the option to either take a plow pose, if that's in your practice, or a happy baby. So happy baby, you separate the legs, you grab for the outer feet, and then as you draw the knees down towards the floor with the help of the hands, the heels are going to gently press up towards the ceiling, just at about 30% of your strength capacity, just a little bit of a dance that we're doing in the hips. And you can start to ding the hips from side to side. Don't feel like you need to stay static here all the time. So just explore movement in this posture. The other option, if you practice plow, is to exhale, draw your legs up and back. Interclasp your fingers. Drag your plow into the earth as you send your oxen back. If you're just starting to explore plow, it can sometimes feel very constricted for the breath. But just work with it. It's very calming. When you're done. Eventually it becomes calming while you're doing it. Final breath. Exhale, we'll slowly come out of our last postures to finish with a little hug and a little revisiting of what our dedication was at the beginning of this practice. Setting ourselves up for a beautiful Shavasana. So working the shoulder blades down in the back, separating the feet wide apart, not too wide, they're still on the mat if possible. And just shake out your legs, let them just receive. And back to this invitation to surrender. Letting the breath return to its natural pace. And starting to observe sensations. Scanning the body for the most comfortable part. If you can stay in your Shavasana a little longer, I invite you to do that. It's once we cross that 10-minute threshold where we really start to benefit the nervous system. And I will guide you out of this for those that have to part company. So I'll slowly just roll onto one side. Let's take a few moments here. And if your eyes have been closed through the Shavasana posture, just start to blink them open and adjust to the light in your room. Start to re-engage with your gaze. Maybe you draw this very soft line across an object that's easily found in front of you. And explore this idea of a non-gripping gaze. So the eye is broad, but it's sharp. And then as we exhale, let the head be very soft and heavy. Moving slowly, but not too slowly. Trying to be intentional with whatever seated posture we want to finish with. So cross-legged in any form. If you do half Padmasana or Sukhasana is great. Just very comfortable sitting cross-legged or here on your heels. We are parting company now. You can stay here and meditate. Your body is ready to receive meditation. I will wish you a beautiful weekend or whatever day you end up maybe practicing this on, and be well. Namaste.